All right, let's connect it up here, guys. Coming at you today, September 18th, 2022, 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock East Coast time, depending on where you're at. If you're watching it on the replay, going to be having the spoiler warning for sure, because we're going to talk about the Walking Dead universe. I don't know, what you don't want to know. We're going to talk about all the different shows in the Walking Dead. So, I mean, there's not much going on in the world of Walking Dead for big news. But tonight is the last episode of Tales of the Walking Dead on AMC. I talked about it last week because I watched it on AMC Plus. I guess I'll talk about it a little bit, but it's not really worth talking much about Tales of the Walking Dead besides some general bold points, and we'll talk about that. But we'll wait for the YouTube to connect and a bunch of people to join. So, what's up, Muck? What's up, Mike? What's up, Negan1? How we doing on this, like I said, September 18th, 2022. We're 2 weeks away from the return of the Walking Dead universe. October 2nd is when it returns, and I'm excited for it. Big Tree, RWF456, how we doing? I'm excited to talk about the Walking Dead universe, but again, like I said, there's not much going on besides some filming news about Fear the Walking Dead in and around Savannah. Tales of the Walking Dead is ending on AMC tonight. Dead City, the Maggie and Negan show, is still filming. There was a picture of Negan and Maggie in black and white. I don't know. Someone had it on Instagram or something. And so The Walking Dead season 11. We'll talk about the final 8 episodes a little bit. We'll also talk about the idea of a post-credits scene. So I would love for it to be more than one, but I think we're going to get one. Entertainment Weekly came out with their fall preview special stuff, and they talked about, The Walking Dead, the final 8 episodes a little bit. So we'll talk about what they had to say about the Daryl show and stuff on there too. So, Giuseppe, Mike, Kami, Lynette, John, Negan1, Dan's Reviews, thank you for joining me here and being a part of the chat. Super chats are always welcome. Top chats are always welcome too. And we'll be talking about The Walking Dead. And Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. How are you, Bri? I'm doing all right. I start my new job tomorrow, Monday at 8:30. Got to go to the office, probably get the ID badge, probably get just put in the system and all the formalities of that. So it's probably going to be a 8:30 to whenever type of day. It's the training stuff, which is kind of annoying if you ever work for a job and you train and you do all that, and then you go through the job, and then you get a new job and you got to train, go through all that, get a new job, train, go through. It's just annoying on there too. So it's one of those things that's where I'm at right now. Hopefully, going to have this job for a while. It's still physical therapy, home health, and I'm excited to get rolling with that. And I finished my last job last week with my last couple of patients, and I'll be rolling into it on Monday to train, do all that. And so we're really going on with that. Football's going strong. Hopefully you're enjoying the football season. And last weekend was the Cowboys versus the Buccaneers, and the Cowboys lost Dak Prescott for, 6 weeks or whatever it is. And, I don't have high hopes for the Cowboys this year. They just don't look good in any aspect of the sides of the football. Besides the defense look decent, but they play the Bengals today at 4:25, and I'm not expecting the Cowboys to win. But you never know, right? So either way, the Walking Dead universe is still going strong. The Walking Dead is going to be here in 2 weeks, like I said. It'll be here October 2nd. AMC, 1 episode. AMC Plus, 2 episodes is the word. So I'm excited to see where it's going to go. I don't have the biggest hopes for the final 8 episodes because it's one of those things where if you watch shows, they can't usually end shows in a good, awesome way. Is it going to be lackluster? Is it going to be annoying? Is it going to be frustrating? Is it going to be worth watching? I just hope it's entertaining. And it's not going to be an ending because it's going to be, we have spinoffs afterwards, for sure. And we'll talk about those, that's for sure. Not too Jenks, Q&A is so bright. Do you think Jadis will appear in Part C and have something to do with Daryl's Europe transfer? So, from my understanding is that the final 8 episodes are wrapping up the main show. The main show is going to end, and I don't know in the final episode, season 11, episode 24. Hey, Mark. I don't know if it's going to be setting up things for the shows, like Maggie and Negan go away, Daryl does something, and then, whatever they're going to do with Rick and Michonne, if that's going to be a possible post-credit scene, I don't know. But the way, I don't know if it was Angela Kang or Gimple, whoever said that the final 8 episodes of The Walking Dead season 11 are going to be wrapping up the main show. That's going to be the main purpose of this. The main show is the main show. It's going to be wrapped up in these final 8 episodes, whether we like it or not. The Commonwealth stuff's going to be gone. Lance will probably be gone. The Miltons will probably lose power. The people will take over the Commonwealth. So the Commonwealth will still be around. It'll just be run by different people, is what I'm guessing for it to be. I don't know if Jadis... It would make sense if Jadis came around, but I think we'll see Jadis in the Rick and Michonne, episodes of the series. But I just don't know how it would fit with what they're supposed to do to set up, because the main show ending, I wish we didn't know all this stuff that we know about Dead City and the Daryl show and the Rick and Michonne show. I guess it would have been cool to see, we're getting information about it, but we already know a lot of information about that stuff potentially. So it just is a little thing where it's disheartening, because it's like having a show that you know and love, and then they're like, well, it's ending, but they're still going to have more story. So it's not going to feel like an ending if it's not ending. Like the Walking Dead universe is not ending. It's kind of like Endgame for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's Endgame, but there's the Thor movie, and eventually the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and then this movie, and then this series, and that series. So it's an ending, but it's not an ending, because it's not really probably ever going to end. And that's what I think The Walking Dead wants to do. The main story and stuff's going to end, but it's tricky to do it in a way that's rewarding. And I don't know. I just don't know how they're going to do it. And don't worry, we'll talk about Daryl and Jadis and, the helicopter stuff. So I hope that it's just a lot of wrapping up plot holes, filling in plot holes, and just doing stuff for the final 8 episodes, then putting it away, right? Jonathan Wilder, did you ever notice last Sunday you went live on 9/11 anniversary? I didn't realize that's a 5 month. Yeah, it was 9/11. That's because it's 9/18. That was a week ago, 9/11. So yeah, it was a long time ago with that. That's for sure, but we're still going strong, and we're still doing the best that we can. That's for sure. Been through a lot of crazy stuff. Hey, Mass Ninja. Hey, Jeannie. So it's tough to have all these different things wrapped up in a show when it ends. It just is. The Walking Dead is bringing back the walkers that can climb fences and hold objects and turn doorknobs and climb over walls and stuff like that, which is okay. I don't really care either way. It's not like I'm not watching The Walking Dead for the walkers. It was cool to have, this walker and that walker. I still think, that's a good question to open this up with. Guys, what is your favorite walker on The Walking Dead? I guess what's the most iconic walker you think of? When I think of walkers, I always think of the well walker. It was the fat, bloated walker that they pulled up out of the well in season 2 at Herschel's farm, and then they wrapped a rope around it, and then it ends up ripping in half. That was pretty gross and pretty awesome. I think the well walker is one of my most iconic walkers, besides Teddy Bear Girl, Bicycle Girl, and the well walker. I think those are two pretty iconic walkers, that's for sure. But it's one of those things where the Walking Dead universe is still upon us, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I'm not one that's dreading the ending, oh yeah, it's gonna be this. I'm excited to see where it's gonna go, because everything that starts has to have an ending, right? And a lot of shows don't get 11 seasons. They end abruptly. A lot of shows have it where, this is the last season, or it's not renewed for a 4th season or a 5th season. You're eh. And that's annoying, because if you watch a show and you get so involved with it and so involved with the cast and the story and the characters and everything. And then you want to see where it goes. It's just a shame when the show goes away so quickly. I'm not a big fan of that too. So, and The Walking Dead, 11 and a half seasons. That's a great run. It really is. So the big thing about it is the Walking Dead universe is going to continue on. And we're going to be able to have shows. And, Fear the Walking Dead to me hasn't really worked. World Beyond worked because of the CRM connection. The Tales of the Walking Dead, it was okay. It was something to watch. Now, we finally are going to get spin-offs, but it's characters that we know and love. Right? Maggie and Negan. Daryl. Rick and Michonne. And then I'm guessing eventually we'll have the Daryl and Carol show after Daryl goes to France for some reason, right? Not too Jenks Q&A, bro. Do you think Rosita will die? Yes, I do. Femi Fen, hello. So ultimately, the Walking Dead universe has been around in our lives for a long, long time. It's a long time coming for, the story to end. The bigger thing, I think. No, I don't think the baby's gonna. I think Rosita's baby Coco will be fine. So The Walking Dead has been around for a long time, and it's something that I guess it's ending now because of Robert Kirkman ending the comics. Like the comic ended in issue 193. It feels like a really weird way of ending it in issue 193. Like not issue 200 or even 195 or whatever. You probably could have squeezed out a couple more issues, made some more money, even went down a whole other path of story. But 193 issues is a great run in a comic. The Walking Dead was very successful as a comic. It's very successful as a show. But it's come a long way, it's one of those things where, if you started watching The Walking Dead, did you ever think you would get Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond, Tales of the Walking Dead, all these spin-offs, 11 and a half seasons of a show? I doubt it, right? I mean, I didn't watch Z Nation, but how many seasons is that? 5, 6, 8? I don't know. I don't think it made 11, but it's a great run. That being said, I think the first 6 seasons are the best of the series, and I think it's ever going to get better than that. But it was still entertaining. Season 7 had 2-3 good episodes out of 16, and then season 8 was the war that fell flat. Season 9 is Rick goes away. Season 10, Michonne goes away, and we lose a bunch of characters along the way, of course. But it's The Walking Dead. That's just how it is. So I don't want to give too much away because I know it's a different universe and different stuff on there too. But if you watch House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon is a great show to follow up Game of Thrones. Because the way Game of Thrones ends is pretty bad. It was a great series up to season 8. And now we have House of the Dragon, which connects with Game of Thrones, but it doesn't, but it does. But it's a great follow-up to that show because it connects a lot of good things with the Targaryens and the House of the Dragon and the dragons and stuff too, which was pretty great. And I think it's pretty amazing for that. Now, that being said, Game of Thrones was only 8 seasons. Walking Dead is 11 seasons. Different shows, different budget, different stuff on there too. And, it's just different. But I'm hoping that some of the spin-offs, or like Better Call Saul, it's a prequel, but then it connects with Breaking Bad, and it's a great thing I think you can ask for. Is the Breaking Bad universe, the Walking Dead universe, it kind of could be that too. Now, we don't have to jump around with time, even though Tales of the Walking Dead could have probably done that. I just think it could have been different. Let me see. I saw a question about Resident Evil, I think, in the chat. Let me see. Hold on. Mass Ninja says, "Have you watched Resident Evil?" Well, yeah, I watched the Resident Evil movies, and I watched the Resident Evil show on Netflix. That was pretty bad. And it shows that it was pretty bad because it's already canceled. We're not getting a season 2 of Resident Evil on Netflix. And I like the Resident Evil video games. I grew up playing them. I basically stopped playing after the first 4 games. And then I didn't really play the Village and stuff. And then the remasters and the remakes and stuff, just for the latest consoles is pretty cool. But it's, I don't know. And then the Resident Evil movies with, Alice and, it's just different. But they kind of capture some of the things from the shows. And so or the games at least, but, and I did like the movie that was kind of a live action movie with, I forget it's not Steve Amell, but the other one, the other Amell, his cousin or whatever. Michael Singer, what episode on Tales was 31 Years in the Apocalypse? I figure episode 4. I mean, great question, Michael. I don't know if it was that one. We're guessing it was the episode 4 with Dr. Everett and Amy. I'm guessing it's that one. It makes sense because he's been researching these, walkers for a long time. So it makes sense that it was that one. But again, it's like, so Tales of the Walking Dead is like the bare bones basic budget Walking Dead. It was like, we want to have a Walking Dead show. It should have been called like Walking Dead Trial and Error, or Walking Dead Let's Try Some Stuff. Because that's what it was basically a show of. The shows didn't connect with the episodes. The characters didn't connect in the episodes. The stuff didn't connect, which was annoying. But I understand that from Tales of the Crypt and the Stuff Creep Show and stuff like that. It was just an anthology series of 6 episodes, 6 different episodes. Great. And some of them were entertaining. Some of them more entertaining than others. And they tried the whole time loop thing, and they tried the whole supernatural vibe thing with the cursed lady and whatever, in episode 6. But the Terry Crews, Olivia Munn episode felt like The Walking Dead. But little things in the episodes were just like, who wrote this? And I could say the same thing about Fear the Walking Dead. Like, Walking Dead has its writing, it has its good and its bad, but predominantly it's been pretty good. And then World Beyond was trying to cover CRM, but in a way that they didn't give us much, but they did, but it didn't connect, but it did. Like, they're just, I don't know how to say it, but like, they're trying to connect in the most basic ways possible because The Walking Dead's in the name. But they don't really have it rewarding, but then they do with the Vaughn and the PPP card and the nice callbacks and the foreshadowing and the connections. Like, it was pretty cool. Like, I like that. If you know my channel, if you know my videos, I love callbacks, connections, foreshadowing, Easter eggs, in this universe and other things there too. It was just cool, right? So it just felt like, what we're going to do? We're going to do 6 episodes of a Walking Dead show. We're going to get some good cast. The writing is going to be okay. And maybe it was COVID, maybe it was writing, maybe it was basic budget, maybe it was whatever, I don't know. But it just felt like they didn't put all their time, energy, effort, and love into it. And some of the stuff that the characters did were just dumb. And I guess people would do that. But when the audience is smarter, much smarter than the characters on screen, on TV or movies, it's frustrating. Like, Fear the Walking Dead has been incredibly frustrating because of how dumb a lot of them characters are. And like, the Terry Crews stuff was just like dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision in that episode. And then the time loop one was like, come on. The Alpha one was okay. The Dr. Everett one was okay. And the Devon one was okay. And then the supernatural Danny Ramirez thing in the house and blah, blah, blah. It was just like, come on. Hallucination City. And I know, I get it. There's people that are going to love it's funny if you're on social media enough. You're on enough, you see how people are. Some people will love everything about a show, no matter what it is. Every episode is great. Every character is great. Every story is great. There's no plot holes, no problems, no this, no that. Love it, 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 love it. Then you have the other people. Sucked. Terrible. Worst episode ever. This show's still on. Can't believe it. Terrible. What are they doing with this? It needs to be canceled. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. It's so dumb. It used to be good, but it wasn't good. Now it's dumb. It used to be good, but now it's terrible. You see both ends of the spectrum. And then if you like something, somebody doesn't. If you don't like something, somebody loves it. It's just like both sides of it. It's just how it is. And if you make enough content, make enough videos, make enough stuff there, you're going to get enough people. Like, people just love to go online and to just cause problems and be different and be difficult, right? It's like that kid in school that's just loving to be difficult because they can. There's enough people online that do that because they can, because that's what people do. They don't have to worry about consequences or problems or anything, or the consequences are very minor online for stuff like that. It's just something that is what it is. And it's just funny that the observations that you get to see over time, and you just get to see what people do, and it's okay. It's all right. But the bad apples in a bunch aren't going to spoil the channel and the videos or anything like that, or the universe too. And I think I forget what it was. I'm pretty sure it was talking about Tales of the Walking Dead. And it was somebody got so mad, and I shared it in one of my videos. And I think it was like the last episode, episode 6. And somebody was like so mad about it. And they wrote in the comments, and it's probably on that video. It was just so like, the fandom is toxic. I can't believe this. If you didn't want to watch it, don't watch the show. How could you say this? How could you say that? No one's forcing you to watch it. I love when people say that. Like, it makes no sense. Like, don't watch the show then. Because the only way to appreciate something is to give it unconditional love and praise and say how great it is. That's not how it works. That's not how things are. That is just a fool's paradise, that you think everything is great and everything is there too. It's just, to me, it doesn't work. Being real and being transparent and being, just honest. I'm not going to like everything in every movie and every show. That being said, I've enjoyed a lot of stuff in some of my favorite shows. And there's been very low amount of things you can gripe about or complain about. And, I wouldn't say I'm a complainer, and I wouldn't say I'm an optimist. I wouldn't say I'm a pessimist. I wouldn't say I'm this. I'm saying more of a realist. I appreciate when things are good, and I call it out when things are dumb or bad, and everything in between. And I just hope the final 8 episodes of The Walking Dead are entertaining. Like, that's the bottom line. Like I don't know if they're going to be good or this or amazing, or they're going to be some of the best episodes yet, because I don't think the content is going to be that amazing. Right? So, Tales of the Walking Dead was trial and error, try a bunch of things. Some things worked, some things didn't. If we get a season 2, hopefully they learn from it. That's it, right? That's all you can do. But at this stage of the game, The Walking Dead has been around for a long time. Like, a long time. 12 years. Coming up on 12 years. This ain't new. Right? So, but we go to see how The Walking Dead is like the gold standard. Like I always say, The Walking Dead is the main tree. And then we get branches off the tree. Fear the Walking Dead, Tales of the Walking Dead, World Beyond, Rick's Show, Maggie and Negan Show, Daryl's Show, this, that, whatever. Webisodes. We have all these different little branches. Some bigger than others. But you can tell The Walking Dead is the source material. And everything else is made up by Gimple and writers and this and that. And I just don't know why you couldn't copy a lot of the great things of The Walking Dead that connect and bring it over to another show. Is that too easy? Because it's not easy to do. It's not easy to make a good show or write a good book or write a good story. Like, it's not an easy thing to do. But I think, like, I don't know why you like The Walking Dead. And that's like the proverbial you. Everybody, like the audience, the millions of people that love The Walking Dead still. Like, but I think there's certain things we can agree on why we all love The Walking Dead, right? It's got that realistic feel of a zombie apocalypse that's fictional, but it's got that feel like, okay, what would I do in the situation of a zombie apocalypse? Would I stay in my house? Would I go out? Are people the problem? Are there... It's just... Constipated in Sin City. He's like, hey, Playboy, I hope that I haven't missed much. Well, now we've just been going for 25 minutes. No, we're good. We'll go for another 35. So we got another 35 minutes left. So then, like, Walking Dead, to me, with Kirkman has always said, it's not the Rick Grimes story. It's the Walking Dead story. But it really is it is the Rick Grimes story. Like when you follow that person's, like The Sopranos, it's Tony Soprano's story, but it's The Sopranos. Breaking Bad is Walter White's story. You see what I'm saying? But The Walking Dead is a universe that is like, okay, the zombies have taken over the planet. You have to worry about food, water, shelter, safety, security, staying alive, staying healthy. And then, it's kind of like that post-apocalyptic world. And I think is one of the biggest things, like, what would you do in that situation? What would you do if you were in the zombie apocalypse? What would you do if you were, in the Walking Dead universe? Like, it's fictional, but... Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. I have a Judith spin-off idea where she is Alexandria's kid leader and she runs the whole community while everyone else goes to do their own spin-off. What do you think of this idea? Well, if Carol's still around and Aaron is still around or Father Gabriel's still around or somebody's around, that's who's going to run Alexandria. I don't think... I like the idea of having Judith, RJ, all the other kids, Gracie, Coco, whoever else is still around. I do like those kids to have the future of The Walking Dead. Even though, like, The Walking Dead universe, the walkers would eventually decay and rot out, right? Like, if you have a plant and you don't take care of it, it's going to die out there. It's only a matter of time. Or even if you do take care of it, it's going to die. Walkers are the same situation. The person dies, they reanimate, they get up, stuff decays, breaks down. So I don't know why they would still be around, especially in the Maggie and Negan show, and there's like 2 million walkers or something in Manhattan still. Well, who's feeding them? How are they not breaking down by now? And how come nobody has really set up a way to get them out of there? Because the bridge is exploded. Like it's just like, come on, it's just a dumb premise already. You got to zip line around all these places and stuff, is what they're saying. Is that like realistic? Is it cool? Is it dumb? We'll have to see how cool it is or not. But if the first inclination of the thing is like, you should be able to have a boombox and some radios and attract the walkers and lead them right into the water. Right? Like Fenny Fen says, walk them right into the water. It's an island. You are surrounded by water. So you just have a canal with roadblocks or cars or this, or you have them there and you make noise and they're dumb. So they walk down. They fall off the thing. Just like they took... when Carol took the walkers off the edge and they fell off. And there you go. Boom, done. And I think there'd be a lot of smart people in New York and a lot of smart people in the world still if you're staying alive. But I don't know. Again, like spin-offs and stuff that's written outside the Walking Dead universe. It's like you have the source material. And then you're like, I'm gonna have another story within the story. Like, I'm curious to know, was Robert Kirkman involved at all with any of this writing outside of stuff? Or does he just sit back and cash his checks? Because his thing was the comic. And then the show came along and they did this and they did that. And he hopefully had a say in some of it. I don't know. Like, it's just one of those things where, like, how involved was he with writing? Because I've never seen Robert Kirkman. I can't, off the top of my head, I've never seen him as a writer. Like, written by so-and-so, Angela Kang or Gimple or whoever wrote the episodes. Like, Robert Kirkman, I'd say, has never been a writer of the show, right? Or am I wrong? Hopefully he's been a writer because he's an executive producer. I know that. But that just means, like, a title. Like, I don't even know, like, that's a thing. Winterfell 26, thank you for being a level 1 PTP. I thought the spin-off Tales was so bad. Yeah, I mean, I understand Winterfell. I don't think that it was done. I don't think it was terrible, and I don't think it was great. I think it was missed opportunities left and right. Like, little things that I'm watching the episode, and I'm like, why couldn't you make Dr. Everett part of CRM? Why couldn't you make Terry Crews and Olivia Munn go from Michigan to Ohio and end up at the Commonwealth? Why couldn't you have the time loop thing make sense at all in that episode 2? You know, the Devon thing. Why couldn't you explain the PPP card at all? It was cool to see, but I'm like, man, just explain it a little bit. And that's just, I think it was a good idea. I think the castings were good. The acting was good. It's just the writing was just a little off. You know, and maybe we come to expect too much. You know, maybe we're like, Walking Dead, it was so good, and now it's not. You know, like, it's watering it down. It's watering the universe down. It's really hurting the stuff. It's like, oh. Because, like, I remember watching The Walking Dead, and, like, the first episode is so good. The first episode, the pilot episode, is probably one of the best episodes of the series. It's definitely for me, it's one of the top 10 best episodes in the series. And I'm like, man, I just wish they could recapture that again. And maybe when all these people get all this great, like it's like, I think of it as, you know, like that writer or that athlete or that hardworking person. You're working hard, right? Because you're a starving artist, or you're working. You don't have much. You're trying to get out of the whatever, and you're trying to be rich and famous, or just at least rich and whatever, and work your way up and get a good job and good benefits and good stuff and a good house and a good family, whatever. You're doing all that, so you're working hard at it. You'll work 2 jobs, or you'll do this on there too, and then it's like the athlete that made it to the NFL. Or the NBA or Major League Baseball, whatever. And they're making a couple $1 million a year. They're not really working hard anymore because they made it. Or they got, like George R. R. Martin. He hasn't finished his last 2 books because he's got other shows and the other stuff and that and here and there, because it doesn't really have to be. Fenny Fan, welcome to the Level 1 PTP. Thank you for joining. So it's like you don't really have to work as hard, so stuff isn't really working there too. But when you're trying to make it, you're working extra hard. You got a job, and you like when I just remember Robert Kirkman talking about him writing The Walking Dead, because he wrote other comics first, and it didn't really catch on. He really didn't do this and that. He had an idea for a zombie comic, and he was writing. He would work all day and deliver pizzas and max out his credit cards and all this stuff, and work on his comic book at night, and his wife and stuff. And it was touch and go for a while there, is what he said, I believe. And he came up with the idea. He picked up someone from Image Comics and was driving him to the airport, and he didn't know how to get to the airport, and he was trying to do the trying to get the person to the airport. And at the time, he was going to drive the person to the airport from Image Comics and basically give them the spiel of get it done. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. But he took those chances and tried to work hard on there too. And it was pretty cool to think of it as, wow, he really took a chance and did it because he had to. He had no other option. It was sink or swim. And he was trying to swim. And then he got the chance for it, and the rest is history. And I remember he was talking about it, that he sold the idea of the comic with the Walking Dead as a zombie comic, and Rick and the Grimes family and everything. And he's like, oh, then the aliens are going to come down. And he was like, okay, I'll give you a couple issues, and they do that. So then he did the issue and got out of the hospital and did this with Rick and whatever, and then next issue and whatever. And then the guy from Image Comics comes over to him and he says, these are great and all, but where's the aliens? When are they coming down? And he's like, oh, I just made that up. They're not coming down. That was just me to get the comic made. And the guy's like, what? He's like, yeah, I'm sorry. It was just, a thing to draw more attention to it. And so, luckily it worked out, and the guy didn't stop making the comics and whatever for Image Comics, and it was just crazy. But I just remember watching that on YouTube or something about it, with Robert Kirkman was talking about it and stuff. And it's just like, man, is The Walking Dead, it's got its fan base, it's got its story, it's got its everything there. But it's just something. And I see all the comments about Tales of the Walking Dead, and I agree. They could have done, again, Fear the Walking Dead. You could have done whatever you wanted to do. It was a clean slate. World Beyond. You could do whatever you want to do. It's a clean slate. Tales of the Walking Dead. You could do whatever you want to do. It's a clean slate. And this is the stuff they come out with. Is it writing? Is it budget? Is it people in the writer's room? I don't know. It's just a lot of different things. And Tales of the Walking Dead, it was okay. It was a decent show at best. Some of it was entertaining. Some people loved it, and that was good. But again, like I said, some people love everything about The Walking Dead, no matter what it is. Some people love Fear the Walking Dead, whatever it is. But I think it was. I just think the fans. I think we were expecting. I mean, I had low expectations for it, and I have low expectations for the spinoffs and what's remaining in the 8 episodes of The Walking Dead. And if it's good, great. If it's not, then we'll see. We'll see how it is. Let me get some of the questions here. I saw, where is my guy? Sorry for the Q&A, John. Are you excited for Roman Reigns versus Logan Paul? Because I am not. No, I do not like Roman Reigns at all. I think Roman Reigns has no personality whatsoever, and he's not a great wrestler in my opinion. He's a great wrestler, wrestler-wise, technique and stuff I've seen. He's pretty good. But just personality-wise, it just doesn't do anything for me. I don't think he's that great. And Logan Paul is hilarious. Logan Paul, he was a decent wrestler when it was at SummerSlam or something that he actually wrestled. Or WrestleMania and SummerSlam, I don't know. But he was decent, but he shouldn't be wrestling for the title. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. One of Negan's wives. Have you read the comic book from Clementine's issue 1? She is a young adult. Book 1 was just in June, is a 3-book series. I have not. I probably just won't read any of that stuff. I have my own book series, but I don't read any of the Walking Dead stuff like that at all. Adrian Richards, Q&A. If you could change one season of The Walking Dead, what season would it be? Season 7. That's for sure, because it was so bad. It's probably between season 7 and season 8, because season 7 sets up season 8, and season 7 was just so crazy. I mean, it's got to be between those, because I would have kept Abraham alive and killed Glenn, and I definitely would have never killed Carl. If I did kill Carl or had to kill Carl because of writing or money or budget or whatever, contracts or whatever it was, I would have killed him in a different way. But yeah, I think, Adrian, it's between season 7 and season 8 would be just different. And it was just so good with season 6, and I don't know, it was just frustrating to watch season 7 after season 6. And you're like, gosh, this is so bad. Like, what are we watching here? Like, Rick was our guy, right? Like, Rick is the man. Rick will bite your throat out to save his kid, to save Michonne, headbutt you, like, fight, like, get his butt kicked, but still do everything he can to keep himself alive and keep everyone alive, even though he's needed help a lot of times. And then season 7 came along, and he was made to look like a chump, made to look like a wuss. He was powerless. Negan was all powerful man who came out of an RV and was surrounded by all these people, and now all of a sudden our group is the bad guys or the weak ones. Like, it was just tough to watch at times. Yeah, Rob K. All Out War was more like All Out Snore. I like to call it All Out Bore because it was like boring. It was just, and I'll never get over in season 8, episode 1, when Rick is like, they're all there, they're outside the sanctuary, they have them all lined up, and Negan comes out and he's like, "Hey, everybody, what you guys doing here?" And then Simon's there, and this is there, and they're all just standing there. And Rick's like, "I'll give you the count of 10. 1, 2, 3. And he starts firing at him. And Negan gets a flesh wound on the leg or whatever. And you're like, who thought that was a good idea? We're going to shoot all the windows out. Like, that's a great idea, right? Like, that's such a waste of ammo. I was watching Lethal Weapon, the first one, yesterday on AMC. And I haven't watched that movie in a long time because I get Lethal Weapon 2 is the one with diplomatic immunity and, you know, Joe Pesci and everything, and then, you know, the later ones with Chris Rock and stuff. The first one I haven't seen in a long time came out was 1987, so it was a long time ago. And there's a part where the car drives into the house, Murtaugh's house, and Gary Busey's like the bad guy, and he like takes his gun and the car drives in, and he's like, he just sprays all these bullets all over the cop car, and no one's in the cop car. It was just put in there to crash into the house to distract them or whatever. But it's so funny, like, you're just wasting all this ammo. It's just hilarious. Jonathan Wilder. What if Quagmire met any of Negan's wives? Well, I don't know. We all know what Quagmire is. Quagmire is terrible in there, especially with women. That's terrible. But yeah, Quagmire probably wouldn't last very long because Negan would probably take him out. That's for sure, in my opinion. So the other thing is that Fear the Walking Dead has actually had some filming news in and around Savannah. And so that's pretty cool to see. I haven't seen actually any photos of filming. I've seen locations and I've seen photos of that and I've seen there, but I haven't seen who's actually there. I believe someone, I think it's Xmas Girl, who's been in here and on Instagram and stuff. But she, I think, sent a message to, is it Sarah, the truck driver, Mo Collins, and that I think Mo Collins wrote back to her like she's not in this season or something, and so I don't know what to believe with that as well. And then I saw a report that season 8, like, it was the smallest, it was like Showbiz 411 by some guy. And he said he has a source that has said that Fear the Walking Dead season 8 is going to be the last season. Which The Walking Dead, like, AMC usually talks about things, right? And I guess if it is the last season, I guess they don't want to take away from The Walking Dead until that's over, right? Which I could see that happening. And maybe it is the final season of The Walking Dead. Like, I'm perfectly fine if season 8 of Fear the Walking Dead is the final season because we got to wrap it up. Like, it's just kind of annoying that it's one of those things for what it is. Whatever. Sad to see only 39 watching. It's actually 49. So I'm sorry you never got the 1K, but kudos. Well, we still could get it. If we don't get it, whatever, I'm going to continue on with my life, because the one thing also I have learned is that I can't rely on other people for stuff. Like there's nothing I can do. Like I can just make my videos, make my stuff, make my content, put it up. People watch it, people don't. People subscribe, people don't. And yeah, I mean, I feel like we should have 100,000 subscribers, but we don't. And I don't know if it's me, this, that, the movies or whatever, or the show and the fan base. But there's still millions of people that watch The Walking Dead. But it's all right. I'm going to continue on doing what I do. It's nothing new for my life and what I've had to go through so far of it. So I'm going to keep it up. So I'm just going to keep doing what I do. And that's what I think anybody should do. So if you guys have a YouTube channel or a book series or whatever you guys do, Instagram, TikTok, job, whatever, keep doing what you do, man. Keep doing what you do. Because people are going to try to bring you down. People are going to try to knock you down. And sometimes you can listen to them. Sometimes if you don't have the support or supporters or you're strong enough willed in your life, you may feel like you want to give up. And that's okay. You can take a break. I would never give up. So like next week is going to be probably a busy week for me because I have my new job starting on Monday. So I got to train and do that. So I don't know how many videos I'm going to be able to make and put up and do that. So, it's going to be kind of touch and go because I'm starting a new job and stuff like that as well. But hopefully when October 2nd comes around, I'll be starting to work for them and have my own schedule and like that too. So I'll be able to come around for it with more videos. And then as we progress with, the season, it'll be, how it goes because, I'll be working there for more and more and more. So it's kind of cool to see, where we're going to be. And the final episode of The Walking Dead is November 20th. And I put that on the YouTube channel. I put it up there too. So November 20th is the final, episode of The Walking Dead. So I'm guessing it's going to be on AMC and AMC Plus that same day. Because The Walking Dead comes back October 2nd. But it's going to be 2 episodes, so I don't know what they're going to do on AMC Plus. The word is that they're not going to show it early, so we'll have to see how it goes. But from what I'm reading and seeing in a lot of different places, November 20th is the final series finale of The Walking Dead. And I think they have to do a post-credit scene too, so it's definitely something that you want to set things up. And with the main show ending, it's over. The future is the spinoffs. So the post-credit scene is kind of where it goes. Adrian Richards, Q&A. This has nothing about The Walking Dead or Fear the Walking Dead. How many Australian subs do you have? I don't know, Adrian. I don't really know how many I have from Australia. But hopefully a good amount because it's pretty cool. Fenny Fences, did you say you work at The Walking Dead? No, I don't work. I'm a physical therapist, Fenny Fen. That's why, hence the PT channel. PT is, I'm a physical therapist. I'm a doctor of physical therapy. That's why I call myself PT because I'm a physical therapist. So I'm a home health physical therapist in Florida. So that's my actual full-time job, real job. YouTube is a secondary job, secondary thing for it. And I love talking about this. And, I was looking back, as you tend to do in your life. I look back at different things. And I've been on YouTube, for, 7.5 years. And it was cool to think where we come and we started doing physical therapy videos and training videos and my home gym videos and this stuff and workout videos and nutrition stuff. And then transitioned to The Walking Dead. And, talking about the 100,000 subscribers, there's people that have been doing it longer than me and have way more subscribers than me. So I think I probably started a little too late for it as well. If I started probably a season earlier or a year earlier, I would assume I would have, the 4,000 subscribers that I need to have to hit 100,000. But it's kind of ridiculous that I need 3,200 or something subscribers, 3,200 subscribers. And it's like, can we just get that already? It'd be kind of cool to achieve that. But, I've asked groups and stuff on YouTube and Facebook and everything to subscribe. And what can you do? Nothing. Lynette Rose says, good luck on the new job. A good physical therapist is as important as the surgeon. That's true, Lynette. That's a big point, too. That's a big point I like to make, is that, the surgeon has to do their job, but then we have to do our job, like myself and the patient and the family. So I don't really, I'm always portraying the image of, working together, or patient advocates, as we try to get the patients better, because what they do outside of therapy and, being alone without a therapist there, what they do, or more importantly, what they don't do, is to stay away from bad things that can hurt them or cause any problems too. So, I love getting to meet new people. And I said this before, and majority of my people are elderly. I meet people from all different ages. I've treated patients all different ages. And, as a home health therapist, I predominantly see people in, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. The oldest patient I've ever seen in home health is 103 years old. She wasn't doing very well, but it was 103 years old. And I've seen people in their 90s and 80s and stuff. And, some of the patients recently, when I finished my last job, I was talking to a guy, and, you go into someone's house and he's watching Supernatural or something on Netflix. And I talked to him about, what are you watching today? Oh, he's watching Daredevil or watching this or watching that. And I was like, oh, do you watch The Walking Dead? And he's like, yeah, I gave up on it a little bit for this and whatever, but then I started watching it again. And he's like, yeah, I thought it was over. I was like, no, it's coming back and it's going to do this. And he's like, yeah, whatever happened with Rick? And I was like, well, he went away and he's coming back with Michonne, and he and Michonne are going to get their own show and blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, that's cool. I'm like, yeah. So it's always cool. I've always thought it was cool to watch or talk about The Walking Dead with my patients and stuff, to get to know them and get them to break up the exercises when we're resting a little bit, get to talk to them, get to know them a little bit. And, shows and pop culture and movies and stuff are always a good way to connect with people. And I remember going to Walker Stalker conventions. The first Walker Stalker convention I ever went to was in Orlando. And then my wife and I went to Atlanta, went to Nashville, and then a bunch of other Atlanta ones. And it's cool because you get to meet the fandom and the community in person. And then also I got to meet some people that, fans and subscribers of the channel in person, which was always cool to see too. Lynette, my book series is Fight For Us. It's actually, if you went to the description of this video and all the videos, it's Fight For Us. And there should be a link in there too that could take you to my Amazon page. But it's my book series is, I'll just write it out here. So it's like that. So that's the book series, and it's 16 books now available. Book 17 is coming out later this year. And then I'm going to, the word is that going for the 20 books is what I'm going for as well, too. So it was something that I'm excited to share with you guys. And the book series is going strong. It's a good zombie apocalypse story, in my opinion. And I'm excited to share with you guys the next book that's coming out later this year. I'm proofreading it every day, and I'm excited to do that as well. And, when I'm writing, I can imagine what it's like writing for a TV show or a comic book or another book series, stuff like that too. You eventually, it's like 17, going to be 17 books. And then the other books are in 100 days. So there's a bunch of things there. You start developing a lot of characters, and you start to like characters and not like characters. And then you're like, oh man, my characters are, pretty, meaningful to me because, they're loosely based on myself, my family, my friends. And I would assume any good writer gets to picture the characters and gets to care for the characters, like it's just kind of cool to think about. I just can't imagine, because I'm writing, myself or my wife or my friends or my dad or this and that or my cats, and so I'm like living my life through the book series, and it's like, it's pretty cool. Kelly Dye, thank you for becoming a level 1 PT Peep. Thank you very much. Fenny Fen says, where you get book from? So my books are on Amazon. You can go to Amazon, and there's also a link in there in the description to go. It should send it. It should send you right to my Amazon book series, my book channel. It's a Amazon bookstore. Sorry. I saw a question about X Peister KO21. Yo, PT, what's your favorite season of Fear? My favorite season is season 6 of Fear the Walking Dead. And then season 3 is probably my second favorite. How about you? What is your favorite season of Fear the Walking Dead? Jonathan Wilder, Q&A. In the episode Say Yes, who was shooting at Rick and Michonne when they pushed the car? That was never answered. I don't know. That's a good question. I haven't really gone back and watched The Walking Dead in a long time. I don't know. Again, like, it's crazy to think about, like, what stuff's not been answered yet, but they're wrapping it up. And, sometimes people get painted into a corner or written into a corner. It's just kind of, I don't know. Adrian Richards, Q&A. If I rewatch The Walking Dead, I may skip season 7 and 8. So, well, that's not a Q&A, but yeah, I mean, I would probably go. Yeah, I would watch the first 6 seasons. Then you got to watch season 7, episode 1. Season 7, episode 1 is probably the best of the season. And season 7, episode 1 is one of the best episodes of the series, I think. It's a top 10 episode. Everyone did a great job. The writing's tough because we lose 2 characters, but it's still a great episode. It's done very well. And then you got to watch season 7, episode 16 to go into season 8 for things as well. So, but yeah, I appreciate that too. I know, Dawn, I've been trying to get come on the podcast. I definitely want to do that. When The Walking Dead returns in October, I have to check my schedule. But I think you said, Dawn, you do it Monday nights. I think that was when you had it, and it just that's a little tough for me to do for Monday, Tuesday type of thing. But yeah, we'll have to come up with a day for me to get on the podcast for sure. Lynette Rose, how do you become a level 1 peep? Season 1 was my favorite. Well, it's you're becoming level 1 PT peeps. You're becoming a member, so you'll pay for the month to become a PT peep. There's different levels. There's 3 different levels on there too. And it just comes back to the channel, and it comes back to a little more money for the channel too. Constipated in Sin City. Are you coming to Las Vegas in January for the YouTube fan appreciation meet and greet event? No, I won't be. Well, that's a couple months away. But no, I guess I wasn't invited for that. But I didn't even think to look into that as well. I got stuff. I'm going back to New Jersey in December. So I have a couple different trips coming up, and then my birthday is in December as well too. So we got a couple of things there as well, and trying to save some money because it's crazy out there with inflation and gas prices and everything else, and driving around being a home health therapist takes its toll. Even though we get mileage, we don't get reimbursed for gas or anything too. I would love to actually go to Las Vegas. I would love to go to a YouTube. An event or something like that, or at a different convention. That'd be pretty cool. Jonathan Wilder. Well, we're wrapping it up, guys. We got a couple more minutes here. Q&A. What character from any show or movie would you like Negan to meet, and why? I don't know. I think Negan. I think Negan. I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I would love to see Negan. I'll keep it in the Walking Dead universe. I would love to see Negan. I would love Negan to meet Shane or Merle. I think would be the 2 funny things to be able to meet and see where it goes to. Snake Plissken. Xpister KO21. What are you most excited for the Walking Dead universe next year? The Rick and Michonne show, for sure. Adrian's birthday is coming up on the 22nd, so happy early birthday. Very cool, very cool. KS I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. Do you think the CRM and the Commonwealth confront one another in season 11? I hope so. That means it probably won't happen. I don't know if we're going to see CRM. I hope so. You know, I've always said before in a lot of my videos, I want CRM to be the big group that our group fights. I want Roseanne Connor. Roseanne Connor meets Negan. That would be crazy. I want the Commonwealth, Fear the Walking Dead, World Beyond, you know, of course, our group going against CRM. That's how I would love to see. The big battle. Or like several battles, taking out this outpost or that thing there or here, there. Hope, Iris, Dr. Bennett coming together to meet up with Rick and Michonne, and it just all coming together in a series of stuff and a season or shows or movies or whatever it is, just comes together, and Althea or whatever, you know, it just would make sense. It'd be really cool for that to happen. That being said, it's probably not going to happen. It'd be wishful thinking for that to really happen. I just don't think it will. Last question here, Fenny Fan. Who do you think could have played Rick instead of Andrew? Well, the big thing was Thomas Jane was supposed to be Rick Grimes. And if you don't know who Thomas Jane is, he was the Punisher in the movie that was actually filmed here in Tampa Bay. I actually met Thomas Jane. And he was also in The Mist. He's the main character in The Mist. And the connection with The Walking Dead in The Mist is that Andrea's in it, Morales is in it, Carol's in it, Dale's in it, Tank Walker's in it, and Thomas Jane was supposed to be Rick Grimes. Frank Darabont was the showrunner. He's like the director or something in that movie. And that's what was supposed to be, but he signed on, Thomas Jane signed on to do the HBO show Hung instead of The Walking Dead. So the rest is history. Andrew Lincoln being Rick Grimes is pretty tough to beat. I can't picture anyone else being Rick Grimes besides Andrew Lincoln. But there you go, guys. That's my time. I'll be back next Sunday to talk about the Walking Dead universe. I guess I'll give you an update on how my first week of training was for my job. House of the Dragon tonight. Football is still going on right now and later tonight. So I'll be back next Sunday to talk about the Walking Dead universe and everything there too. And remember, guys, with hard work and dedication, belief and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it. It's about love, support, staying positive, working hard, getting things done. You can do it. Believe in yourself. You can do it. I'll be back next